Okay, let's make sure that everyone can hear us. Hopefully so. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Hi. Okay, hello. Welcome to Tuesday's Table Talks. I'm your host, Lotus, and founder of the Loose Woman Sanctuary. We are in the beautiful space of Love and Light Cuisine. And
I'm your host, Tigra, with Tiggy'd Productions and nonprofit Kids of Cain.
Yes. And we are blessed today with our special guest, Alder woman or Alder lady. Alder lady, Shameem Clark Hubbard.
Yay!
Right, we've been wanting to get her on for the longest, but you know how it is. Being so busy and doing so much for the community, getting out there in the streets, doing everything that you need to do, which you have been, and we're humbled and honored to have you.
I'm humbled and honored to be here. I appreciate y'all working with my schedule.
Oh, we appreciate you being here in the midst of the season, election
the real season.
Yes.
14 days away from election day.
Yes. And we know how it's going, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yes.
We know how it's going and we know how it's going to end.
That's right.
That's it, y'all.
Right. That is right.
And we're still in Women History Month, too.
Yes, we are. That's exactly.
You know what? I haven't even thought about that.
Yes.
It's in all of the narratives and everything that I'm talking about with election days and these new cycles and new openings, new beginnings in these wars in the city of St. Louis, that it is still Women's History Month.
It is.
Yes.
And it's a magnificent time for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, you said something about the changes in the wars. Could you please explain that to me? So I know you're currently 26th ward, but it's soon to be 10th ward.
Yeah.
What is that? What's happening with that?
So I am Alder lady, humbly served for the past 4 years in the former 26th ward. Is now currently the 10th ward. The city of St. Louis technically went to 14 wards last year. After the census, after a vote back in 2012, the city went from through ward redistricting and reduction. So we went from 28 wards to 14 wards. And so now it's the time that we catch up with it, right? Because we had that period in between where we technically had 14 wards, but we still had 28 or so aldermen. And so now the entire board of aldermen is running. We just had the primary on March 7th. I ran again for re-election in the 10th and won. And now we are gearing up. We are 2 weeks. Thank you. We are 2 weeks away from the general. And again, the entire board is board of aldermen and the president is running at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. So within this redistricting, you said they reduced some of the areas. So for people who either are not from the city or aren't familiar, so what area does that encompass for you now, the 10th ward?
Great question. And I'll say before we go past that, they reduced the number of wards, but not the areas. The areas increased, right? So, and some of our wards went from 2 to almost 3 times the size of their old wards, just depending on because geographically and through the numbers from the census, we had to get up to the same amount of people in each ward. And so, in some of our wards, there's challenges with the ways that we've had moving and displacement and things of that nature. So some of the wards got bigger. The 10th ward, for example, has 8 amazing neighborhoods: White Down Skinker de Bolivar Place, West End, Visitation Park, Academy Sherman Park, Lewis Place, and Fountain Park. These are 8 amazing neighborhoods. I've been saying it the whole time, and I say the 8 neighborhoods plus you and me equals the power of 10.
Yes.
So it's bigger. It's definitely bigger than the former 26th ward. It also encompasses the entire Forest Park, which is going to be an amazing experience and an amazing example we can set to work together in neighborhoods that have been systemically and over the years divided, right? Being able to come together and work together. But we're up for the challenge. It's amazing. It's a lot of good people in the 10th ward that are ready to work together collectively to move the ward forward. And I'm excited about it.
I'm so excited.
Can you tell how excited?
Yeah, as you should be. So what are the plans? Like what are some of the plans that what are your plans to move it forward?
The first plan is for us, just as I said, is to come together, right? I mean, so I sit on the legislation committee down at the Board of Aldermen, and I heard the conversations we had, public meetings, public testimony, and to be frank, there were some people that still to this day might not feel like these wards should have been connected. These neighborhoods rather should have been connected. And so making sure that we work past that, creating the unity in the ward, the synergy in the ward to move it forward, making sure that anything that we bring to the 10th ward is equitable, as well as working together to fight anti-displacement, because we know, that those are the type of things that come when you're working in spaces like this. Again, when I say the 8 amazing neighborhoods, what I have proposed is sort of a council, right? And this council will have representation from each of the 8 amazing neighborhoods, myself, our neighborhood improvement specialist, our neighborhood business district specialists, stakeholders, and we'll come together on a regular basis, bringing the voices from these neighborhoods to the table. And I think we're going to set the example here in what'll be the new corridor, right? Because the South Side is doing good, right? In so many places of the South Side, they're doing good. And then that North corridor, we know they booming, right? And that North corridor. So it's time for us to now move north. There's nothing else really for us to do but to move north, and we'll be first right there in line and ready.
Wow, I'm excited.
I'm very excited. As someone who grew up in the city, I'm just excited to see, because I've seen, how it went down, and I just feel that energy of it coming back to where it should be. So I cannot wait to see what happens in our city. Oh my
right. And you said Fountain Park. We having a house in Fountain Park, so we'll be moving there soon. So
let me find out. I'm gonna be your Alder lady too.
Yeah, she's gonna be my Alder lady, baby, and I got plans. Okay, a lot of stuff I want to do.
That Fountain Park neighborhood. Oh my God.
Yes.
Beautiful, those homes over there.
Very historical, a lot of history.
Their architecture is irreplaceable.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for choosing, the commitment to the city and the people that people, I don't take it for granted, not for a second, that it is a choice to live. Where you live is a choice, and where you invest and where you choose to raise and your family. And so then I have to make sure that I don't take my responsibility for granted to be a resource to you all and keep do my best to keep our neighborhood safe.
You're doing it. You're doing it. I mean, we see you everywhere. So it's not just talk, you're acting, I don't know how many events that I just went to just for events, and you were there. And I'm like, how does she have time? Just the Better Family Life anniversary, the YMCA. I think they had I don't know if it was just a conference or just a neighborhood thing that they did. And I'm like, you're here. Wow. I mean, just seeing you all around. Now I have a question. What is it we titled this video, Our Voices Have Weight. With having the voices of the community, we know that you go out and search and make sure that you're listening to the voices and that you're listening to what the community needs, as well as, paying attention to the economic growth and housing and stuff like that. But for members of the community that have some concerns outside of voting, what is it that they can do, or how do they go about and getting those concerns out?
Well, one of the things I pride myself on is just speaks to what you said, showing up to people's stuff, being present, actively listening, being accessible. All my constituents, since I, prior to being Alder person, I was Democratic committee woman for the ward. I always share my personal cell phone number. You don't have to go to a website. You don't have to click on a link or nothing to get to me. You can just call me or text me. I just got on social media for this last race in 2019. Doing my best to keep up with everything except for that messenger. I tell people, I say, Lord, please don't call me, don't text me, don't do nothing on messenger, because I'm bad with messenger. But everything else, again, you have my cell phone number. And again, I feel it's my responsibility to show up and not just show up and actively listen, but also respond. With the relationships that I've built that I'm proud of, I'm able to make real create real solutions and have impacts on people's, not only their needs, but their concerns. And again, I'm proud of that. And you can't do that without listening, right? You can't do that without somebody else's voice. I can't do that job without listening to you, all the people. So the vote is very important. Why? Because if you don't vote and get the right person in there, then you're not going to get somebody that's going to listen. You're not going to get somebody that's going to have the temperament and the heart to serve and be open to serve like that. And if you get the wrong person in there, then at the same time, it won't be your voice. So at any table I'm sitting at, my people sitting at. So,
And I love that you say that, because even on social media, when you look at people who mention your names, there's like, I love my Alder lady. Like, she's there when I need her. So I feel like this is innate with you. You have a history. This is in your blood. Tell us about this.
I do serve under the example that my grandfather set. He was a former alderman in the city of St. Louis, 4th Ward. He served proudly. And then after that, he became the first Black director of public safety for the city of St. Louis, first Black director of public welfare. That's a position I don't think we even have anymore. He was head president of NAACP chapters regionally and locally, and did a lot of work. And then in his retirement, if that's what you call it, a retirement, he started an organization called Self-Help Housing. At the time, the trade unions weren't accepting African Americans. So he would literally pick brothers and sisters about the corner and teach them the construction trade. They built houses in the 4th Ward that some people still live in to this day. And so, again, that was an example that I saw growing up and was set. And I just always had it in my heart to serve, even as an entrepreneur, whatever capacity I was in, I always felt good giving back. And so when you continue to move up and escalate in your service, then you have more access to resources. And that's ultimately what I got in it for, to advocate on behalf of our people, our communities, and to access resources and bring them back to the community.
It seems like you have not just that, but like a passion and strong ethics too. You know, it's a lot of people, what do they call it? Like name slinging and all that, you know, and you just seem so, not seem, but you're so fair and positive. How do you keep on track with your morals in what people normally see as a corrupt field with politics?
Well, I guess first thing is I got the answer for it, right? And I don't take away from that how I was raised, my parents, and I was raised in morals. And I also have a different kind of outlook. And I'm not saying I've had it all my life, but at this stage in my life, I don't make decisions for right now and for today. And I don't make decisions for myself. I make decisions looking at what it's going to impact, what it's going to create or not create or hurt or help. And I also always make decisions on the greater good. And so if you keep those kind of things in your forefront, when you get tempted and when you get tested, you know, then you'll have something to fall back on and say that'll trigger like, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's those kind of temptations. Now, as it relates to dealing with the slander, you know, and all that stuff comes with it, right? That also takes time, but I'm also blessed with a support system. I ain't gonna lie. I got some girlfriends that I would call them and be like, bitch, you better talk me off this ledge, because right by now I'm about to jump all the way out this square that I know I need to, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit on her fake like it's always rainbows and unicorns around her, because we know it's not. But I just at this stage in my life choose as a mother of 5 and looking at my daughters, and especially and thinking about, you know, what the outcome would be, what they see, that I just make different decisions now. Some stuff just ain't even work.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely right. I know it's a lot, you know, talking about politics, but it's a lot in the media, and it's a lot that's happening around the country with Black women in power. We've had some things here, you know, in Missouri, but just all around within the United States, we're having issues, and some, you know, I've read articles where it seems almost as if there's an attack on Black women in power. So what are your feelings on that? Or
the attack on Black women in power, first of all, we know that ain't nothing
Right.
Right. Say it.
But we was born into it and we can't carry it. We carry it differently. The thing that I choose, again, here, talking about choices to do differently and will always do to the day I die, is not to berate, not to talk bad, not to talk down to my sisters publicly. And even in confidence and private, it's still a mutual, respectful conversation. If we can disagree and we can be on different sides and we can still ultimately work together. I personally don't like being around a lot of people that agree with me. I don't like fake cheerleaders.
Come on now.
I don't like people, hey, you doing everything right, you doing
Right.
good, you the best. Because I know that's not the case. So I would rather be around people who think differently or who don't agree so that we can come in the middle. That's where change happens. Again, you can't pull nothing up. You won't be able to. You can't pull. I will never be used to talk about my sister like that. I just can't. I mean, it's the whole. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. You can put it in any kind of cliche you want to put it. But I would rather not speak on something than to be able to be put into a situation where it looks like I'm down on my sister, because I know that in the next breath it could be me.
Right. And then when we do that, it is us because we represent each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you for saying that. I appreciate you for being who you are, you know, and out of respect and integrity of, you know, we know as you shine, so do we.
Absolutely.
You know, and if we're about uplifting and helping each other, and as you are uplifting and helping the community, we know it just reinforces everything. Now, I have a question because y'all know we're meeting after 8:00. That's not normally our schedule. So when do you get sleep? How do you rest?
I do have to shut all the way down when I rest, right? Because, you know, if you get on that phone, you can pick up that phone, you can get on that social media, you'll look up maybe 2-3 hours later. You ain't done nothing you're supposed to do on social media.
Right.
I listen. Sometimes I have a whole lot. Okay, I need to post about this. I post about that. I get on social media 2-3 hours later. I haven't made nan post. I'm laughing and talking and sending stuff.
That
to
sounds
other
great,
people.
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, it does. But I do get my rest. I do. I lay down. I shut it down. And when I do, but I'm still an early riser, no matter what time I do. Something I want to go back to really quickly though that we talked about as it relates to us belittling or talking about each other publicly. That's also an intentional tool that people will use to distract our people. Because if we are busy going back and forth on whatever platform, be it in whatever platform, they have the space. We distracted. They have the space. It sells on one end, so it's monetizing somebody's win. We look the way we look in it, and somebody else, I promise you, is back here doing something that we gonna miss that's going over our head because we distracted with this stuff. It's like you gotta keep your head on a swivel with this stuff. And if you busy worried about what them two over there talking about, and they know that, then and they know that when we go against each other, it's that's what it is. Then we lose a lot that way. We so much better together, and they know that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know that too. So they want to keep us
blind
in confusion, what I like to call creative confusion, so that we look up and then we mad still at each other, but want to blame somebody else.
Right.
You know, it's crazy.
I wish more people understood that it's completely off politics, but just thinking of something in the media right now with two Black female celebrities, and it's instead of going after each other in the media, like get out of your own heads, get out of your ego, and realize like if you were working together, you all can make money together, right?
I don't understand it, right?
Yeah,
and then I guess like you said, it's just all a form of distraction, which has taken place. I mean, it's historical within our communities, within
while the media outlets are cashing in on it.
Exactly. And if we don't realize that instead of trying to compare and compete and just start joining forces and being together. I mean, it's not, for number one, it doesn't even make sense. We are all individuals. You know, it's no way that I can be exactly like you.
Right.
So why would I need to compete? You know, there's no way that you can be exactly like me. We all have something to offer, you know, and that's why we're here. So,
and then of course they look at it and it's like, oh, see how they act.
right, exactly.
That part. That part. Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah. What did I used to on your now show with my girls Tracy and Yolanda, and we used to say, I say we don't compete, we complete.
That's right. I
So
love
we don't
it.
compete, we complete. That's
I love it.
And you know, you might not get all of the attention, but it's a long win when you working together. It honestly is. It honestly is. They gonna get more attention over here clashing, and that's okay because that's what again they can sell. But get the long win over here. We so much better together.
Right, we definitely are.
So what you gonna do after you win? What are you know? You gonna why you gonna? What are you gonna do? Just gonna?
Where's the party?
I know, right?
So I want to know.
The party, well, literally on April 4th, my sister Allison with AAA Fish House, his office to open her doors. So when the polls close at 7, and after we do the wrapping up from Election Day responsibilities, we'll probably go up there and you know, hang out till the results come in and say I won.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So
We dancing.
yeah, there we go. Oh, so that'll be a Tuesday. And look, I'll wake up Wednesday. Look, make sure the kids get on the bus and go to school and do my, back at it again. And then be looking forward to the swearing in and everything and getting to work. Well, staying at work. Because I think that's one of the things that's missed on a candidate like myself. So I'm still the city alder person. So the balance comes in my automatic duties, keeping up with those as well as campaigning
And home life.
so
as well
home
as
life,
making
mommy
sure family
life,
life.
everyone.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes. Wow. And since and you're doing it though, and so
I got my
doing it
days
well.
when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try again some more.
all right. Well, that's good though. At least you didn't give up on it. Like,
Right.
I did the best that I could do for now.
That's
good.
That's it for today.
That's good. That's a lot. So 5 children.
Yeah.
So what do you think about your children, becoming into the political life,
Out of my 5 children, I can see one. That's probably my 16-year-older. If I had, and my 26-year-older, she's very in tune and engaged in community service. But she's also like marketing, and she's she's good on social media. She's the one that set up all my social media platforms and all that stuff for me. So, but my 16-year-old is very opinionated, and I can see her maybe going in the direction if out of all of them, the most. The 13-year-old is my artist.
Oh, cool.
The and both the boys, they are more entrepreneurs, business mind, business spirit. So I think they're all, of course, I'm proud of all of them and all that they do. But if I had to think of one of them, it would be the 16-year-old.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm loving what it is that you do and how you're able to, split yourself and do it effectively. It's different when we multitask and we have so much else going on. But, and I think that has a lot to do with the value system that you have, that your parents, that your grandparents instilled into you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I still got it in me. Look, I'm 40. I'll be 47 this year. And I think that that's one of the things that are different from generation. Sometimes from generation to generation. Like, my elders that's not even here, I still will think in my mind, like, would they be okay if I they wouldn't want me to do that. I think about it more now than when I was really messing up and making mistakes. And when they was really in my face, it could have really snatched me and everything. But I think about it more now. That's how I said it's always a long game,
Yeah.
And I just pray that our people see that more, because I think a lot of the things that happen in our communities, people are thinking about something right then and there and an outcome right then and there, and not really thinking it through of the future. Yeah, how it's going to impact generation to generation or the next day, let alone that time, So
I know it's precarious in the so in the city of St. Louis, we can like security and I know some people try to avoid the city for whatever reason. And I know you stated that some areas were kind of maybe against the I guess connecting some of the areas. So is it a safety concern, or what are you seeing as far as the city improving on perceived danger, whether it's violence or stealing, which happens everywhere, let's be clear, but you know, there's a stigma on the city.
Well, first I would push back on the stigma in the city because, to your point, crime and there's public safety issues everywhere. And I think it's about working collectively, not pointing fingers to get to the solutions, as well as alternative solutions. So for me, I see a world where we are routing our public safety issues, which I think of, and I have always looked at as public health issues and a public health crisis with a public health lens. I think if we reroute and start looking at some of these things in different directions through alternative methods, make sure they're properly staffed, properly trained, then we'll be able to address some things. And then not, the bottom line is policing in itself is reactive. They get called to a problem after those problems happen. So as much as we are putting into the reactive piece, we need to help support the proactive piece to maybe change minds to not even make some of the decisions that they make to be have a public safety interaction. So I think that again, the relationships that I've been able to build in my service tenure show I want everybody at the table. And just in the 26th ward, I have some areas that have about 5 layers of policing on them, and I have other areas in the 26th ward that have 1 layer of policing in them. So it's about making sure the issues and concerns are met equitably, and moving forward, and then starting with the proactive piece of hopefully changing our babies, our youth's minds, and other people's minds so that they don't continue to make and continue down some of the trajectories that they do when they make that one mistake. Sometimes traps them into a lifetime of mistakes. And I think the best people sometimes to talk about that is people that have been and made the mistakes to change their mind, change their heart, come see the difference, and then come back and talk to somebody that they can relate to most.
I love that. And what I've noticed in the city and the communities as they're building up some of these, like you said, those houses have those strong bones, 3 stories, just amazing houses, right? And what I've seen is as they continue to rebuild the city, is that the community, I mean, they will do their own neighborhood watch. They will come outside like, no, not over here, you won't. So I love to see that, the community gathering and together.
Now you mentioned policing. So I know we just had legislation that kind of brought stuff back where instead of, was it the state controlled the police, or now we're back to Missouri taking control of not the individual?
It's not. There's some legislation now at the state level to push back to state control. We have local control now, but it most definitely has not passed yet.
Okay.
It passed the House, but it's not passed the Senate.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? I've read certain things. So, and one of the things I think one of my concerns is that, of course, if this is something that passes, that is setting us back further, back with like a lot of
so
stuff.
What we fought for, we absolutely fought for local control. And my main thing with it is that state control is not going to answer the problems and the concerns. What I've read, and I haven't read up on every single word of it, but the state control that I have seen proposed, I don't see how that's going to help the concerns, the needs that we have with our police department here now, which I completely support. I have an amazing relationship with the police department. I do. And as a matter of fact, my constituents depend on me too. So you'll never hear me saying anything about just being totally against the police, because of the history of policing, not just in the city, not none we made up, but from real lived experiences. There are I have constituencies that may not feel comfortable calling the police or dealing with the police themselves. They call me, I call the police, I interact with them. This is the relationship that they depend on me to have. So, and again, I'm proud of those relationships that I've built up so that I can respond and work collectively to meet people's needs. But at the same time, if it's not a police call, I can also work to redirect it to a mental health call or work to redirect it to a health and safety, a quality of life need and health issues. Just knowing how to build those relationships and knowing how to work to direct these things and route these things in the right direction, I think would solve a lot of the problem, would take some of the pressure off of our police department, and then let them be able to do the work that they still need to do in the city of St. Louis. So I just think that, again, it's not one or the other with me, it's us together. And that's how we're going to move forward. And right now, the proposed state control, I don't see that being the answer to that.
Exactly. Okay.
It kind of feels like if you have a manager in corporate, but you go over your manager to the branch, the head, it's like you're kind of skipping. That's what it feels like when they go, if they were to do it that way. So it seems like it would make more sense to keep it local as well.
And then the excuses that they're using, though. I mean, it's, we know a lot of things, because it's not just happening here in Missouri. No. It's in other states where we're having a lot of racial issues and trying to set back some of the legislations and the things that we've done as African Americans, as communities, and as politicians that we fought for and and we voted for. So to have some of these setbacks or opposed setbacks, I think it's just trying to keep us on our toes, which is very necessary and imperative that we stay on our toes. And so another thing too, I think with about that, what I read was that they were saying to bring or reinforce, because we needed more funding for the police, and it's like, well, in order for the switch to take place, for the state to take over, that's like, how much money is that going to cost in order for them to even try to attempt to do that? Just like completely rerouting and completely overturning everything that has already taken place that we've already paid for. So that, just reading and hearing about that excuse, it's not even valid. No.
Well, your constituents, I feel, are blessed to have you, because I haven't heard of any other, in any capacity of politics, taking the personal approach that you're taking. And it's so imperative, especially because, like you said, 911 gets these calls. It could be mental health. So the fact that you are diffusing, before it even gets there, it's like, hey, this is where this needs to go, redirecting. So that's, I'm not even trying to fluff you up, but that'll
start with the funding is already in place for the new 911 center that's going to work in tangent with our EMS, with our mental health, behavior health. They're going to be trained and cross-trained, which is going to be great. And again, when we have the proper training for our officers on the ground, as well as our 911 dispatchers, as well as the people who, meet the people on the ground, then it'll make all the difference in the world. Because those calls can go the wrong way. Hey, for example, there was a lost boy. We just had a lost child in the ward that just so happened my girlfriend found. And the response was intentionally, okay, don't send a bunch of police over to this baby, a young Black boy. So just being intentional on how we make the difference in this, and having it properly, again, I can't say enough, properly staffed, properly funded, and properly trained are the things that are going to make the difference in that.
Beautiful. So what are some of the upcoming things that we should expect in regards to legislation and what we should be looking out to vote for, to rally for, to fundraise for? What should we do as a community to support you and support, what it is that you're standing for?
I'm glad you said that, because I want to, that just made me think about something at the state level, right? And how we talk about when you said it feels like you're usurping or going over somebody. I think the reason that we mostly feel like that is because we have maybe I'll count on one hand, our representation in the state house for the city. Like at the House level, and then at the Senate level, there's two, out of minority, right? And so what they would need up there at the state level is our voices. Speaking of how our voices matter, making sure we get up there and help fight with them for us, right? And so then down here at the local level, which matters, even more, make sure that you are following these candidates. I told you the entire Board of Aldermen is running. That's 14 aldermen and the president of the Board of Aldermen. Our new president, President Green, is running unopposed. So she's going to be our president of the Board of Aldermen for the next 4 years. Got to work with her, and got to support her. And then work together collectively with the 14 as much as we can. Again, nobody's going to be skipping rope and running under rainbows down there. But we got to be able to work together to get things done for the greater good. So I would just say, we got 2 weeks out here. Make sure you vote. You can vote tomorrow. I'm not sure if this is live.
Yes, it's live.
Right. So early voting started today. So some people voted today. I got texts today of people saying, I voted for you, sis. Keep going. I voted for you. Let's go. And so it started today. There's 4 voting centers, and you can go onto the Board of Elections website. There's 4 voting centers in the Board of Elections downtown. You can go vote. Go vote for your candidates. There's some other issues on the ballot as well. Make sure you study your ballot. Vote all the way down ballot. And I like to always say, do not wait till you're walking into the polls to get that little green piece of paper that could have anything on it. That people could print anything on these little green pieces of paper and say it's the official ballot, and all this nonsense. Just know how you're going to vote when you're parking. When you park in your car and walking in, know how you're going to vote. And then you make a decision if you want to take that stuff or not. And then you make your vote count, and then you follow up and support your candidates the way they're gonna need it, because it's gonna be a lot of work. But we are in a time that should give you the most hope ever. We have some people that's in place now more than ever to make change, real sustainable change happen in the city of St. Louis, and we have funding in place, to make real sustainable change in the city of St. Louis. So now more than ever is the time to engage.
I love it. So for those, and I know so many are not politically inclined. They don't know, to kind of go in blind and just like any, mini, money, mo. Or
please don't do it.
Yes. So what do you have to say to people to where can they go to research like what's on, what's at stake? And
League of Women Voters has a really good nonpartisan, non-partial website that'll show you all of the candidates, all the ballot initiatives, all the issues, right? The Board of Elections now, with one of the things they're doing that I love is when they send you out your voting card in the city. I'm not sure about in the county, but in the city, they on the back of it has what your ballot is going to look, what you're going to be voting for on your ballot. Again, giving you time, and it's a QRL code where you can pull it down and see everything. Everybody has a cell phone,
Right.
There's no excuses about you got a cell phone, just pull it up and study and see what you're going to do and make up your mind and make real educated decisions on how you're going to vote on behalf of, I can't say it enough, the greater good of the city.
That's right.
And again, the time is now to do that and then set the example, because when take your children when you go vote so that they see it. I mean, I grew up watching people fight to vote, right? Fighting for their vote. So for me, I don't take it for granted. I vote for the dog catch if I have to. I vote in every election, but I know that everybody's not engaged like that. And I'm telling you, every election matters. This one matters. Next year is going to be some major elections again in the city of St. Louis. So, the time is now more than ever. And ultimately, if you are just not comfortable going on there and seeing stuff yourself, get in contact with me. This is what I do. I would love to get on the phone. I would love to talk to you. I would love to get together with a small group and tell you about the different issues, the different things on the ballot. And it don't have to just necessarily be about myself. If I had the time, we can go talk about anything else that's going on too. But I just want you to educate yourself and make your own decision, and don't let anybody take your vote for granted.
Thank you.
Love that we had a sister in here, but we do a brunch business and they kind of network with other people who either are in business or want to start. And there was a lady who has a partner, and that's their sole purpose now, to teach people, how to vote, what's on the ballot, what to look for. And
Are you talking about Kelly McGowan?
Was that her name?
No, I don't think that's.
Oh, that sounds like Kelly
Okay.
McGowan. Because I was like,
Okay.
this sister right there, that's what she does too. And I love her. And Shavannah, and they got the Hood Talks podcast, and now they have Transformed 341.
Yeah,
That might be her.
that might be. I'm
But
not
I
sure.
just
We'll
love
have to
that.
look. Yeah.
Yes.
But well, if it's not them, I'm gonna shout them out.
Yes, please.
I
And
love
then
it.
I want to know who these sisters are too,
Right.
because again, they can reach people that I might not necessarily reach, because people do have their stigmas, they do have their mindset on what they think a politician is or not, and so I lean into sisters like who you're speaking of, and the sisters I mentioned, because they have their platforms and their networks that they can speak to and reach people that'll block me, but can get to them. And what I love most about them is that they stand on the facts and not their own opinions.
That's right.
And that is what we need most.
Love it.
Definitely.
Yes, we do.
So, is there anything, or what's your next move now? What you got coming up?
Well, 14 days, but I don't know if y'all can tell who counting. No, seriously though, 14 days. I can't fall off the ground, and I'm just on the ground every day, you know.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm
Enjoying
excited. I'm meeting people every day. I'm shaking the dust of everything else, and pushing forward to that. I'm gonna win this election,
Yes.
and I'll be the Alder lady of the 10th ward. I had a friend who told me he said you're gonna be the last Alder lady of the 26th ward and the first Alder lady of the 10th
Yes.
ward. I'm like,
Women's History Month. Women's History.
I'm like, you
Yes.
gotta speak it. So,
Yes.
and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about being able to continue to set an example. I love, one of my most favorite compliments is when people tell me they see the difference. And so, you talk about, they could talk about my clothes, they can talk about my shoes, whatever they want to talk about. When they say they can see the difference in how I serve, that's like my constant confirmation that I'm doing it, not only what I'm supposed to be doing, but how I'm supposed to be doing it. And so with that, I'm gonna get in there day one and be ready to continue to serve the entire 10th ward and work that. It'll be a 4-year term. And I'm excited about the things that we're gonna be able to do. And
All right, I'm excited for you. Right, I know. We're proud of you.
thank you.
Proud of you. Every time I see you, I'm like, yes, yes. I'm saying we were talking from day one, trying to get you on. So,
Oh my good. Well, listen, I love this. These are my favorite opportunities to be able to connect with strong sisters like yourself with this energy. Shout out to this space we in again. I can't even remember if y'all shouted it out at first, but I'm gonna shout it out again because I redid my shopping. If you haven't been here, make sure you get here, do your shopping. I got sweets. I got my new lip gloss.
Is that pretty?
I got little candles.
yes.
Look, and I'll be back. So, shout out to, we just out here doing it. I love being a Black woman.
Love it.
When I say I love being a Black woman, oh, I love being a Black woman.
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all make it better.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes.
Oh, we feel so blessed. So
Yes.
blessed. So do not forget to vote.
Yes.
They're not.
Do not ahead of time, the 4th of April, or ahead of time.
Now.
Well,
Vote now.
Yes,
Right.
get
Early
those
voting
in
is
there.
from now to April the 3rd.
Right. And if you
Can't miss
have,
it.
if you have any questions, you can pose them here, leave them in the chat box and
Yes.
We'll get 'em
She's on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Reach out to her.
Oh,
Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Mhm.
Twitter is at SC Hubbard 26. Instagram is Shameem Clark Hubbard. Facebook is Shameem Clark Hubbard. LinkedIn is Shameem Clark Hubbard. I told y'all, got to give me that grace on Messenger. And then do not even try me on Nextdoor. I'm publicly against Nextdoor.
Well,
I
don't
just
know.
cannot do Nextdoor.
Yeah,
Nextdoor
Is it
has
too much?
issues.
Okay.
Really.
It has real issues, and it's and this campaign, unfortunately, has shown me a whole nother side of Nextdoor.
Mm,
And so after this,
okay.
I'm gonna have to deal with Nextdoor because it just doesn't have some of the things that are said and conveyed on Nextdoor, and not being able to really report it and really deal with it like you can on other social media
No,
platforms is an
okay.
issue. And they impose safety issues, I feel like, on
Okay.
people, so personal safety and personal space safety issues on people. So that's a problem. That's an issue,
Yes, it is.
And so again, But my cell phone number is public on everything, so you can call me directly. But here's the thing. It's stuff like that, they not gonna call you and say nothing to you in your face. They definitely ain't gonna say it to your face.
Right.
They'll get on something like a platform like
Because
this.
they think they have support.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we not.
And then you don't know what it is. Yeah, that's not yeah.
I be shaking all that dust, kicking and shaking it, dancing over it.
And they don't understand you divinely protected.
Yeah,
So
oh my
right.
God,
Get
that
it together.
cover. They don't understand that cover. They never will, bless they will. Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, I please, if anybody puts anything in the chat and I miss it, tag me in it or please let them know so I can answer and get to it because I absolutely will.
Beautiful. Okay.
Oh
well,
my goodness. So that concludes this week's Tuesday Table Talks. We're going to talk about announcements. First and foremost, we want to remind you of the Save the Mission. If you have not watched the video, and we are in the space of Love and Light Cuisine, Love and Light Wellness Center. As we stated in the video, the founder is battling stage 4 cancer. So we are we'll be doing fundraisers, so please stay tuned. Follow all of us: Love and Light Cuisine, Loose Women Sanctuary, Mantra Lotus, Tiggy'd Pink. We're going to post all of the fundraisers that will be upcoming. In the meantime, you can come by and just support her, buy a meal. We do have the links. Yes, the links to her PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. We are working on a GoFundMe, so bear with us while we set that up. But we plan on doing having many opportunities to support the cause and save the mission for this space. Also on the 25th of March, there's Indian Night. You have the link on your page, right? For that, you can pre-order. You can also come in and order here if you want to. And we're going to have dosa, idli, and delicious Indian food, Taste of India, part 2.
Part 2, yep. So if you came last time and you enjoyed it, even more. So
yes. Don't forget that.
Yep. And Friday, open mic night. So every Friday we have open mic night. So all of you who want to be a part of a show, do your own show. If you want to sing, you want to dance, you want to tell some stories, poetry, whatever it is, the floor is open. This is a wonderful space to be who you are and bring forth some love and light and positive energy. And also this space is pretty much, most of the products here are from women-owned businesses, local owned. So come in, support, help us
and grab a delicious meal while you're here.
And it's a lot of delicious stuff here. I mean, you've seen it. Most of the time we'll be eating here. So we'll have some more snacks. Right. It'll be a whole nother show. We're eating, so we'll have some more stuff out.
Do you have your energy work still?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Energy. Kelly Wembley Energy Workshop is here tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So, and this is, I'm thinking this is the 5th one, but after this, he'll restart and go back into the very beginning of the workshop. So if you feel you missed it, no worry. Come on and get in and learn about healing touch therapy, energy work, and how it's beneficial to you and your health and mental, emotional, and check out some of the videos that we posted online about what's happening here and enjoy it.
And then I think the only other thing I can think of right now that we're ready to announce, we made a post on Save the Date for the metaphysical Save the Mission fundraiser. So we're going to have Kodiak Hollow with their crystals, and we'll have like astrology readers. We'll have, of course, these meditation candles that everyone loves. Love and light.
I got mine.
Yes, it's so delicious. I'll be doing qigong, and we're trying to work on getting some other people in here. So if you have something along the metaphysical realm, whether it's crystals or meditation, I know we have yoga, and just reach out.
I'll probably be doing yoga and meditation.
Yes, so reach
it's
out.
Just going to be a wonderful
It'll be a great event.
A great event.
So save the date, the 15th of April.
That's right.
It's a Saturday.
Right.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's all we can think of right now.
I think so. If we forget something, you know, we got some. It's something going on
We'll
every weekend.
post. Yes.
Right. Oh, next Tuesday table talks.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
yes.
We're going to have
Yes.
Charlie of Lit Life Creations.
Can't wait.
Oh my goodness. So she's amazing. And again, I mean, she's more than just a candle maker. She makes incense, fresheners, so many things. She's multi-talented.
Yeah.
And beyond just a candle, she sets them with intentions. So, I mean, each candle comes with like crystals, and you know, I'm always gushing on her candles, crystals, flowers. I mean, and it's just the very intentional candles and products. And so I can't wait. We'll get into not just the products, but more into the magic
Yes.
behind it and meditation and things like that. So it'll be a very good show. Good
Right.
energy, more good energy.
Yes.
Yes.
What time is she on?
She's at 4.
4 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay,
4
so
o'clock Central.
4 p.m. So we'll be back a little bit earlier on Tuesday.
I'm sorry for making
No,
you
it's
good.
okay.
No, you good. I'm just saying I've had a lot of energy help today this evening. So so I'm glad we were able to get through this. So we're good. So we will see you all Tuesday.
Love and light.
Love and light. Thank you all so much for
Thank
coming.
This was so nice. It was right on time.
Thank you. I'm so happy.